Hi, for the next 20 minutes or so, I'm going to talk to you about a career in marketing, how you can get started and how you can stand out. Firstly though, welcome. This is, I will admit, first and probably the last time that I've been asked to impart wisdom to the future of our industry. So please do make the most of it because it probably won't happen again. What are you doing here? Well, today I'm going to talk to you about, as I've said, working in marketing, whether it's the right career for you, and perhaps it might not be. I'll tell you who I am. I'll explain briefly what I mean by marketing, where it can take you in your career, some of the good bits. I'll also be honest about the bad bits because we're not here to sell you a dream. And then finish by explaining how you can begin a marketing career and get ahead. Firstly, because I haven't done this yet, who am I? I'm Kier. I'm sales director at an agency called Hallam. We'll come back to what an agency is a little later. And if you're thinking, what's a sales director? Essentially, it's my job to bring money into the business, which according to my 5-year-old, I do by talking to people and asking them to do things that they don't want to do, which when you say it out loud makes me sound like some kind of deviant. So we'll skip past that part. A short history of me. I studied philosophy at university back in 2004. I then went on to work in corporate banking, which is a very strange move from philosophy, from going from something highly ethical to something that perhaps isn't. I then moved to a public relations agency, which was my first agency experience. And then I've worked in an agency or for brands or for companies ever since. And I'm now very successful, rich, and a father of 2 kids under 5. Now, here's a game for you. One of those is true. And also my kids are called Toby and Max. Now, you're going to hear the term marketing a lot today. And I've got marketing here in parentheses. You're quickly going to realize it's a catch-all term for a lot of things. And it's quite important that you know what I'm talking about when I say marketing. So I'm looking to help you understand why marketing might be a good career choice for you. And to do that, we need to explain what it is. So let's cover that off quickly. Marketing can be anything from YouTube creators building out a distinctive brand and product to appeal to their target market and creating a frenzy in stores across the UK. It can be using data to personalize your Netflix experience based on the sorts of things that you watch, the types of images you're likely to click, and the shows that will keep you subscribing, to finding new ways to keep brands that we all know and love selling through personalized packaging and creating a memorable experience that perhaps you want to share from something as fairly dull as buying a bottle of Coke. It could even be working on something in the metaverse like Nightland and bringing young people to brands who are equally as good at retaining customers like me. And no, I can't explain the metaverse to you or Nightland. I'm just pretending to be young at this point. It's also a lot of meetings and working collaboratively. That could be with clients, with your peers, with suppliers. It's a really, really collaborative career, and it's great for people who want to work with others, develop ideas, problem solving, and then see those ideas actually have an impact in the world around you. Now, all of that's really just the tip of the iceberg. Marketing in its broadest sense can cover everything from designing the brands that you all know and love, from how it looks to how it sounds, to data analysis, to finding what sells, perhaps what the competition's missing, and what can make your customers smile and come back to buy again. It can be designing and building websites, through to creating content for social media, for influencers, or perhaps writing copy for an advertising campaign. There's so much more within this. So when you hear the word marketing today, think of it as really broad. So let's say that we know what marketing is now. What's in it for you? Where can it take you? What kind of things can you do? Well, firstly, a career in marketing can see you working in or for brands that are in pretty much any sector. And that could be from global human rights to animal charities, to fashion, to luxury goods, to travel, and to working with young people. These aren't a random selection of images from Google. These are clients that Hallam has worked with. So you can literally do anything. If one company can work with this variety of sectors, you can imagine that there are multiple companies working with multiple sectors. So there really is a lot of options for you, and you can focus in on areas that genuinely appeal to you. You could be working with a few people in a company right at the start of this journey, or a huge corporation with amazing headquarters and thousands of employees. And with a few exceptions, you can find yourself traveling and working in a whole host of countries, mostly in the Western world, but you could genuinely find yourself anywhere. Marketing is needed everywhere, and whilst there are local differences, you genuinely can find yourself working with clients and perhaps working even in a different location. And unlike this picture from the not so distant past, marketing is an incredibly diverse industry. I know that's kind of ironic coming from a middle-aged, middle-class white dude, but you will get to work with a complete mix of people, from genders, from geography, from backgrounds, from interests. And it's really important because when all these people come together, that's where some seriously good ideas come from. Now, I've used the words agencies and brands quite a lot, and you might not know what I'm talking about. My own parents don't know what I do or what an agency is, so I'm not really expecting you to. Think of an agency as a business that exists to support other businesses in specific areas. So for us, that's marketing, but you get agencies that will help people run events. You get agencies that will help people put on kind of catering, these kind of things. There's lots of different things that people will do. But it's essentially a way for a business to say, we can't do this ourselves, we need a bit of support. And then an agency will come in and work with lots of different businesses at the same time and kind of plug that gap. One of the benefits of working for an agency in marketing or a marketing agency is variety. So the variety is huge. As you've seen, you can work with many different types of clients. You can work with them all at the same time. And you get to really see interesting parts of business from many different angles. It does sound like a lot of work when I say it like that, but it's a great way to earn and it keeps the job interesting. And you might think that this bit should be on the bad bits page, but marketing, especially in an agency, is incredibly fast paced. Your days genuinely fly by, and it can cover things like meeting clients, designing a new product, seeing a TV campaign you've created go live. You could be running an event or planning an event. And you could also be looking in data and finding something that stands out to you as potentially a national news story that you could then go away and see in print or see digitally and realize that you genuinely made an impact. There's so much to do that you'll never find yourself clock watching. And I've worked in roles in the past where you kind of hope that the end of the day is coming. You genuinely don't get that in marketing agencies. So the other option is working for a brand or a business. Think of it like that. It could be any of the businesses that you buy from. They will all have a marketing team. This differs because you'll get to focus. So you can gain a deep understanding of a brand. You can become the expert in a sector, but you also get to be part of a journey of a brand growing. And while there's perhaps not as much as a variety of sectors day to day, you're working in one sector, you'll still be able to work with all the different types of marketing that I've already talked about. And obviously you can move between sectors. The other benefit of working for a brand, earning potential. So you can potentially earn more money working for a brand. Some people will start at the very bottom and progress to the very top. We've seen that in multiple industries where people start basically as the lowest person in the business and become CEO. It happens more than you think it would do. And brands often want to hold on to their staff because the knowledge that they've gained is really important, as is the expertise. So yeah, money. I'm going to say money. It's important. Working for a brand or agency, it can be a really positive career choice. It doesn't matter which one you choose. There really are a lot of benefits that will take far more time than I have to go through. And you've got a lot of people here today and who will be at Aspiration Digital and also recording talks for you that are giving their time for free to do this because we genuinely believe it's a great career choice. But as I promised, there are some bad bits. So let's just cover them off. Now, I'm not going to lie to you, even though I told you that marketers weren't trustworthy. So you choose whether you believe me or not. Historically, marketing hasn't been seen as the sexy career choice. And often marketing is ranked as perhaps one of the least trustworthy professions. But that's not really a huge shock because if you remember how I described my job, we're actively trying to get people to do things through nudges, through behavioral science, and through advertising. And we don't tend to trust people who we think are always trying to get us to do something. So has perhaps been a perception historically that marketing is just trying to get you to buy things. It's just another name for sales. It's really not. It's really trying to help you find the things that perhaps you were looking for and helping a business reach the right people who have a need for a service or a product. Equally, you would struggle to find parents or carers who dream of their kids becoming marketers. But equally, it's always quite fun to do something your parents don't want you to do. Not sure I'm allowed to say that, but I've said it now. Marketing is never going to be law, accountancy, or medicine. And I don't remember my school ever saying to me, oh, why don't you consider marketing? But if you're actually watching this, then maybe yours is more progressive than my school. Or maybe I went to school a very long time ago. But the fact remains that there are some career choices that will be seen more positively than perhaps going into a marketing career. All I would say to that is not everybody can do all those things, and actually not all of those things have downsides as well. The positives for me of marketing far outweigh that. So if that hasn't put you off, let's go through a few ways to actually get into marketing. So firstly, there's the classic and the one that your school will like. So go to uni, study marketing, and then do marketing. And you would think this would be the normal route into marketing. And for some people it is. And the benefit here is that you learn the theory before you start rather than having to pick it up as you go. But honestly, for most people, this isn't how it happens. Most people, including me, do this. Go to uni, study anything you like, and kind of stumble into marketing. And this is one of the best things about the marketing industry. It accepts pretty much anyone if you have the right transferable skills. And pretty much anyone can learn on the job or train later in life to fill the gaps. Is it as good as studying marketing and then getting a marketing role? It's not really worse. It's just different. And I'd argue that there are benefits to both. You can bring different life experience. You can bring different perspectives. And as I mentioned earlier, the diversity of the marketing industry is what makes it so good, because we're all very different people. If you look at all the people speaking at Aspiration Digital, we all have different backgrounds. We've all come to this from a different place. And that's what makes it a really exciting place to be. Finally, you've got this route. Don't go to uni. Ruin your school stats. Become an intern and then work your way up. Now, this might look like the crazy option, but there are people speaking at Aspiration Digital who took this route, and genuinely some of the best people I've ever worked with took this route. Not going to uni, just getting into a business and then absorbing everything as they went. And it might sound scary to do that, but you can equate it to someone studying for 3 years and they're learning the theory of marketing and how to apply it. Or you can live the role for 3 years right at the bottom and progress with the skills you pick up along the way. There's no right or wrong way to do it, but the point here is it's an industry that you can get into in multiple ways and still progress. And of course, there are other paths, but what I want you to take from this is that this career can be for everyone. There are roles for creative people, analytical people, data people, people who are highly introverted, people who are highly extroverted. It genuinely is a place that can accommodate multiple different personality types. So if that's true, and it's the industry that I've told you it is, it's the place where we should all dream to work. Obviously it's not, no industry is like that, but it's a great place to be, and there is competition for roles. So how do you stand out from everyone else if you want to do this? Everyone speaking at Aspiration Digital has a lot of connections and can open doors for you. And obviously it doesn't have to be now. It could be in 5 years' time. But my strongest recommendation would be to talk to us. Keep our details somewhere. And when you need help or an introduction or just some advice, use the people that you're going to hear from and that you're going to meet. In any industry, knowing someone could take you a very long way. Our society is built around that. If you happen to know someone, you can tend to get a foot in for a job or perhaps a piece of work you want to sell to someone. So at an early age, you don't have those connections unless your parents do. So use a chance like this. You've got a lot of marketing people here that you can talk to. I was going to say marketing experts. I'm not going to class myself as that at all. But I'm someone that knows a lot of people, equally so does everybody else here. And between us, if you talk to us and we keep talking as you go through university or you get into a job, we can offer you advice and maybe introduce you to people as you go through life. You'll find in marketing that people tend to start at the same level and they progress and they keep in touch as they go from juniors to seniors to management roles to directors. And that then means once you've done that, you can help people out in the same way. Next, showing humility. We're in a moment right now where shouting loudly, even if we are entirely wrong, is seen as something to aspire to. The richest man in the world does it quite a lot, as do many other high-profile, famous morons, I'm going to say. Someone like Mr. Tate, for example. If you want to succeed in marketing, you're going to have to try new things. You're going to screw things up, and people around you are going to act irrationally. The best thing you can do in your career is constantly remind yourself that we're all human. It's okay to make a mistake. People won't do what you expect them to. You're young. You're going to make mistakes as you go. I still make mistakes. I made a lot of mistakes when I was young in business. You just realize that it's not the end of the world. You realize that other people have done this before. They can say, oh yeah, that happened to me once. I did this and got past it. Show humility. Get along with people, and genuinely you will go a lot further than the people who just try and go headstrong and do it for themselves. And that leads me to probably one of the most important things, your attitude. Your attitude is key. Getting stuck in, trying things and not being afraid to fail is critical. The single thing that we look for at Hallam when we hire, above all else, is attitude. We can teach you everything else. A bit of experience is nice, but if we see a mindset of, I want to try that, I want to do that in a better way, I want to go and do this, I think I can achieve this, I'm ambitious, I want to get the next role afterwards, that's the kind of attitude that will get you a job and to see you progress really quickly. And again, it's not something that can be taught. So when you do start looking for roles, whether it's now, whether it's after university, just show ambition, show that you want to get on, you want to learn, but remember to be humble. And that's the end. If you've completely forgotten everything I've said, or we weren't listening, absolutely fine. Just remember these three things. Marketing is genuinely a rewarding and varied career choice, and you really can make it what you want to. It has space for introverted data fans and extroverted people. Everyone in this room could fit into marketing if they wanted to. There is a place for you, whether it's in an agency or a brand, and it's not just a really corporate type of person that fits in. I'm quite an introverted person. There are extroverted people here. You can find an agency that's incredibly corporate where you have to wear a suit. You can find a company that you have to wear a suit to go to work. You can find a company that allows you to go to work dressed likely as I am in a t-shirt and jeans and trainers that are far too bright for someone of my age. There's a real community to the marketing industry that allows you to find a place to fit in where you can do your best work. As I say, it's one of those careers where you genuinely can be yourself. And you may not have thought of marketing, and I get no commission if you decide to go into marketing or don't, but consider it. It should definitely be an option. It's a really, really varied career. It can take you anywhere you want to go to. And yeah. If you do want to steal my details so you can ask for advice or help at any point in the future, then you can. You'll find them behind this QR code, or you can drop me an email whenever you want to, and I will try and help wherever I can. And I'm sure I say the same for the rest of the Aspiration Digital speakers. So that's it. I will now stop talking. Thank you very much for listening.